To all who shall see these presents, greetings. Ruckdog here, back with the next installment of my Captain of Industry playthrough. So, last time we left off where I had gotten my concrete production up and running, and we were working on expanding our construction parts production capacity because, frankly, we were running out of them on a fairly routine basis. We are sort of hanging out in a good spot in terms of our food supply. And we have just built a new expansion to our settlement, which means that we can now start to look at bringing some more folks back to the island. And then finally, we have completed some research that included the ship dock repair and the captain's office. As a matter of fact, we need to select a new research thing. So I'm going to go ahead and get these vehicle ramps knocked out just because we're starting to build belts, and seems like those vehicle ramps might be handy here pretty soon. Okay, so what we're going to start working on here is, or what I think I'm going to try and get accomplished, is we're going to start the beacon back up because we now have room for new workers and we're starting to run short of non-employed workers. We're going to start working on repairing our our dockyard here, our shipyard. So that's going to take a little bit of time. And we're going to continue to work on improving our production capacity for construction parts because I don't see the demand for those going away anytime soon. And while we're working on all of that, we're also going to keep upgrading our production here for food so that we can start getting a better output for our food. So that's going to be the next thing to work on. Okay. So let's go ahead and get ourselves underway here. Let's see now. So this is going to take about 50 of the construction 2 parts. This is right now kind of taking up the bulk of my construction 2 part availability. So we're going to sort of let that catch up for now. Truck cannot find any trees to harvest. Interesting. Okay. We are doing okay on copper, but let's go ahead and get this turned on. We're officially out of workers, so let's go ahead and get our beacon running again. Go ahead and acknowledge those little alerts there. Well, let's take a look at the captain's office and see what that can do for us here. Captain's office. Okay. So that's going to require some additional construction parts. Yep. Recurring theme here with that. So I think what we'll do is we'll let the upgrade for our field here complete. Go ahead and time accelerate here. And we'll let and then we'll probably see about getting the dockyard repairs complete. And then that will set us up to sort of reduce our demand for construction parts a little bit. And from there, we will be able to start looking at things like the captain's office, I think. See how, let's take a quick check in here, 11 months, yeah. Definitely going to take a little while to get the next batch of workers. So we're just going to have to sort of deal with this shortage for a bit of time. Not enough maintenance, interesting. Let's see what's going on with our maintenance. Well, seems like we're doing okay. Oh, and then we can select here. I'm wondering about the fact that we're being told we don't have the ability to harvesting trees. I wonder if I can select that as the priority. Okay, look at that. All right, let's go ahead and pause here for a second. And let's take a look at our research because we got our ramps unlocked. Okay, so we got a couple of options here. I think we'll probably just keep marching down the line here of the research tree. Let's start working the fuel station next. This sounds like it'll be helpful with trying to minimize the amount that our excavators and vehicles. Because right now, basically, when anybody ever needs fuel, they have to drive all the way over to the little fuel complex over here. So by building like a gas station somewhere over in here, it'll reduce some of that transit time. So that could be very useful. Okay. And we're consistently getting alerts about not having enough maintenance, which is concerning, right? Let's take a look at our maintenances here. So your last month change was that. Missing input. All right. I think that might have been part of the problem. I'm going to go ahead and hit play. I'm not going to time accelerate just yet because I want to see this thing get some deliveries. Sounds like what the issue I was having is that only one of my maintenance depots was actually producing maintenance because for some reason I had the wrong recipe selected on this one. Let's go ahead and time accelerate just a little bit. I want to see this guy get some materials delivered. Alright, there we go. So, there we go. Alright, so now that we have both of our maintenance facilities working, we're actually in the business now of producing enough maintenance. So that should have fixed that problem. Okay, well, let's go ahead and check in here. Yeah, we're slowly but surely inching our way up. Let's go ahead and give this a quick priority here. Let's see if we can get our whoa. There we go. Hey, look at that. And just like that. All right. So now what it looks like we need to do is we need to build some piping to that field. So let's go ahead and see about getting that done. There we go. Now, I think I'll also need to see about maybe some of those ramps that we were just looking at, see if we can figure that out, now that we've got those unlocked. Man, we are really in need of some workers. That's okay, though. More workers will be inbound soon, so that's good. All right, so I was going to try and see about figuring out where the vehicle ramps are at. Oh, interesting. Wow, these things are super wide. Okay. So it looks like I'm not going to be able to get a vehicle ramp put in there, but that's good to know. I wasn't honestly expecting the ramps to be quite that wide, so that's okay, though. Worse things have happened. Okay, well, anyway. So it looks like all of this has gotten up and running now. This is not getting any iron ore. Well, maybe we assign another truck there. That couldn't hurt. Okay, new refugees, so that's helpful. Hooray. Okay. And look at that. We're starting to see our irrigated field now, so that's helpful. Let's see now. Ah, I see. So this really needs to be switched back over to green manure to try and maintain fertility of the field. All right. So we are now in the position, I think, where we can repair the dockyard. So we're going to go ahead and get that going. We're finally starting to, I think, get a little bit ahead of our production parts shortage problem. So, you know, just as again the big picture view, I'm going to get the dockyard repaired, and then we'll see about the captain's office, I think. Nice, nice heavy rain. Yes, fill up my water. Yes, very nice. So this isn't getting any water, but I think that's because I forgot to attach it properly. So let me go ahead and grab my transports. And I will tie it into the pipe here. And that should, really what I probably need to do is I probably need to get rid of that pipe right there and force everything to go through that buffer. But we'll see. Alright, so this seems like it's doing its thing pretty well. We'll have to keep an eye on our food supply. We may or may not need to... Oh, look at that. Okay, so that finished up while we were doing our thing. Okay. So this is giving us a new thing to look at. I'm not sure what that's all supposed to do. Ah, it gives us the opportunity to repair the ship. All right. So this is going to require lots of iron, which is good. All right, so I think this is going to be delivering everything parts automatically. Yes. Okay. But what this does point to is a continued need for more iron production. More iron! So let's go ahead and work on that. Well, actually, before I get too excited, we did talk about building the captain's office. So let's go ahead and get that up and running. Then we're going to build it right here next to the dockyard. Seems like a good place for the captain's office, if I do say so myself. And that'll take a minute or two here to finish up. So while we wait for that, I am going to start looking at the bigger picture for a minute and figuring out what we want our next production step to be. And as I take a quick survey around, right, it does seem that we are in a situation where we're looking okay with coal. I'll need to modify that area here pretty soon, though. So let's see here. Oh, well, hold on a second. I just noticed that we finished the research. Hello. All right. So what I want to do is I want to readjust the mining area here real quick. just to make sure that we are continuing to have an area of coal that we're going to be able to pull out. So that's good. All right, fuel station, open research. Okay, so we've officially got ourselves all the way up to this tier, which is good. Happy to see that. All right, so we have transport balancing. Okay, so that's important when you're trying to make sure that your production buildings are getting the right types of resources they need. Research lab 2 and ships weapons. Ooh, okay. Interesting. And then edicts down here. Maintenance and fuel reduction. Tough choice. I think I'm going to go ahead and get Research Lab 2. Just because I want to be able to progress down the research tree here. Looks like there's lots of good stuff coming up here pretty soon. So we'll probably get Research Lab 2. Then we'll see about edicts, ship weapons, and probably transports balancing last, just because at the scale I'm operating at right now, transport balancing is not really a huge problem for me. And let's see here. Looks like this is going to be where I can select my edicts, basically. All right. And then how soon can we get more folks? 5 months. Okay. Well, I think that is probably going to work out just fine. Let's go ahead and hit play again here. Now, one of the things I'm debating about, perhaps here, is, well, let's go ahead and get that upgraded. So we've got a surplus of the construction 2 parts. Yeah, I already knew about the ship dock being ready. Okay. Not enough maintenance. Let's see here. So we might need to build another maintenance building, another maintenance depot. All right, well. We're definitely going to need some more folks, that's for sure. Let's take a look here real quick at our maintenance tab. Maintenance out, maintenance in. Ah, I see. So it looks like we are struggling to maintain a steady output of maintenance production. And if I had to guess, that's because we're struggling with, yep, just as I thought, we're struggling with our inputs. Copper is not holding up what we need. Okay, so we need more copper and we need more iron. So basically we need more raw metal materials production. That's what it looks like. Yep, okay. Well, good to know. Hey, look at that. We got our population increase, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and pause this right now, just because I want the workers we have to be focused towards our production buildings. And it looks like I'll need to get this connected via pipes. I'm not sure how... Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I can't connect pipes to this. Well, that's a problem. Yeah, that's definitely a problem. Did not think ahead about that with farms. Okay. Well, that was sort of a waste of construction 2 parts then. Let's go ahead and pause this for a second here. So, a couple of things. Let's go ahead and get a head of our metallurgy efforts here. So, let's go ahead and get ourselves a new blast furnace built here. Probably actually going to end up building 2 new blast furnaces, but for one thing at a time here. All right. Get that built there. And then transport-wise, we will build our conveyor belt there. Allow it to tap off of our coal supply here. Then we will need our metal casters. Yep. Go ahead and, yeah, build it there. And build it there. And then, of course, we will need our molten channel there. And there. And now I need to worry about my exhaust gases. Alright, let's see here. Exhaust accepts 200 per 20 seconds, so yeah. What I was trying to figure out is I'm trying to figure out if I can just tap into this line right here, and it appears the answer is yes, so we're just going to do that for sake of easiness there. Okay, so that will probably be for iron. Now we need to do something similar up here for copper. As a matter of fact, yeah, this has full output, it says. So I think what we need to do, it's got full output as well. So one of the things that I think I've failed to account for is the removal of slag. So automation of slag removal is probably something to think about here. Let's think about that for a second here. Probably need a U-shaped conveyor. Let's see here. If I elevate it up here, I should be able to bring it out this way a bit. There we go. Okay. And then I just need to tie these guys into that line right there. Oops. There we go. There we go. Alright, what's going on here? There we go. There we go. Okay. So that now should all be grabbing the slag coming out of these guys. and allowing me to deposit it into a storage bin, which is the plan here. So let's go ahead and get a storage bin put together. Storage, loose storage. Build that right there. And then let's see if I can actually connect that the way I want to. Yeah. Oops. Oops. Alright, so it looks like I need to move that away from the belt a little bit because there wasn't enough room for the height change for the conveyor that I wanted. So this should work pretty well right there. U-shaped conveyor. There we go. Alright, so that should allow all of the slag these guys are producing to wind up in the storage bin. And that will allow all of my trucks to pick up the slag from there instead of driving hither and yon. And I'll need to do a similar thing for the blast furnaces that I'm building down here. But we'll work that in a second once we give a second for all of this to get caught up. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit play here. Let all of that sort of work its way through, because right now everybody's going to need to get all their construction parts on hand and start getting all this stuff assembled. Everybody buzzing to and fro. Looks like truck waiting times are starting to be a concern. Well, there's one way to fix that. Let's build a few more trucks. I'm hopeful that these little construction efforts that I'm doing here will help with the queue times for the trucks. Alright, so we're starting to see our slag move here. So that's all good. Slowly but surely starting to see some of these things pick up. I want you on iron production, and you on iron production, and you on iron production. Go ahead and get those recipes selected early. Alright, 10 more months. What's that for? Ah, okay, so I need to adjust my mining area then. Alright, well, how about we just do this? That should fix your wagon good. Alright, so let's see here. Missing input. What inputs are... Okay. Missing iron ore, I suppose? Alright, so... I think what that means is we're going to need another truck or two. Maybe another excavator. Yeah, let's go ahead and get another excavator ordered up here as well. Matter of fact, I'll move that up in the queue here a little bit. So it definitely looks like we're starting to reach the limit of what our single excavator can supply reasonably for our iron ore needs. Yeah. Go ahead and quick build that. There we go, new refugees. Okay. So, we are doing well on population for the moment. We're still only have about 4 workers available, so I'm going to continue to let our population efforts continue here. Keep our beacon on and let the population continue to grow is what I mean to say. Our ramp over here is slowly but surely starting to take shape. That's exciting. That should continue here pretty well. We're slowly but surely getting materials delivered for our damaged ship, so we're on our way there. A little more surplus workers, I'll be able to start up the captain's office properly this time. Alright, so really what we're doing now is we're just sort of trying to give all of this stuff here a chance to get caught up with construction-wise. So some things I still need to do. Well, I still need to automate my removal of the slag from these two guys that I'm building here. I also should probably start looking at automating the delivery of the iron ore. Yeah, that's probably going to be helpful. As a matter of fact, it might be possible to work out delivery all the way to the source. I don't know. Really depends on whether or not I can sneak a conveyor belt through there. Well, let's see what it does. All right, so probably come out to about right there. See if I can get that aligned to right there. Wasn't perfectly aligned, but we can fix that. Yeah, so the thought process is I can just build this conveyor right to here. And then what I can do is I can build a storage right here. And then I can basically rely on the conveyors here to take care of the distribution of my iron ore. I don't want you to delete the whole thing. Well, I guess that's fine. That's fine. We'll just redo the whole thing. Not a big deal. Might be for the best anyway. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Trying to avoid unnecessary bins in the conveyor. Not for any real reason other than I don't like the way it looks. There we go. Now, just need to build this out. Probably want to keep this elevated. Oh yeah, that works actually pretty well. Just sort of double deck it. Oop, oop. Don't freak out on me. Do that. Let's see here. Apparently it doesn't like the fact that it's got a... Alright, don't be like that, please. Interesting. So what appears to be happening is it's sort of freaking out about this junction right here. Because what I'd like to do, I wonder if it'll just let me connect it. Yeah, alright. That's not super pretty, but it works. Okay. And then I wonder if I can just connect it in that way. Okay. So that's all right. So that should work out for my distribution of my iron ore. Now I need to work on collection here of my slag. Let's go ahead and let that truck get out of the way here. Okay, there we go. So the truck was sitting right here and it was causing my belts to do some things I didn't want them to do, so that's right. Mr. Truck can just clear out. Do you guys actually need to be that elevated? Can I shrink you down some? Yeah, okay. That works. There we go. And then ultimately, I want to tie it down to this over here. But I will do this first. Probably what I need to do is I probably need to make this go down. Oops. Yeah. That. Connect that there. And now I can build one of these fancy ramps that I researched over that. Where is my ramp doohickey? So this is the problem. I don't quite remember where the stupid ramps are at. Ah, there we go. It's under buildings. Okay. R. And about right there should be good. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit play and let all that start working its way through here. And we can select some more research. Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and get these edicts working. Just because I know that we're about to have enough people that we can begin to actually operate our captain's office. Sort of fun watching everything play out here. Truck queues are starting to go down. Combination, I think, of getting new trucks built and our continued efforts to automate our distribution infrastructure. See here, these guys are hanging out full because they have nowhere to take their coal. Well, worse things could happen. Okay, so we are kind of getting close to a stopping point, I think. There's a couple things I'm a little concerned about. Food supply, I think, is going to be problematic. Let me go ahead and pause this again real quick here. Take a look at our graphs. Let's take a look at food. So we're still seeing these big spikes. So produced, consumed, yeah, so it looks like we're still ahead of this a little bit. But I'm definitely worried that we're not going to get to a happy place with the food. So let's go ahead and look at getting another farm going here. Let's go ahead and get that built here. And we've got plenty of Unity, so I'm going to go ahead and actually spend Unity so that we don't have to worry about all those parts. And, oh, not enough workers, shoot. How soon until we get more workers? 3 months. For now, let's go ahead and I think I'll pause these manual assembly buildings. And that should free up enough folks to get myself manned up on the farm here. And we're going to alternate crops just to make sure that we don't lose our soil fertility. And then finally, might as well go ahead and connect this with a water pipe. Do that. Yep. Blink. And then that should hopefully allow us to stay ahead of... Oh, hey, look at that. Population increase, new refugees. Hooray. Okay. This will hopefully keep us on the up and up. Now in the meantime, I'm wondering how we're doing on our construction here. Oh boy, do I want to quick build that. So the whole point of doing this conveyor system, right, is to sort of knock down my truck demand, my truck transportation demand. So let's go ahead and cancel everything except the excavator. And then maybe see about quick building him. We'll let it ride for now. I think I'm actually going to pause my research. The reason why is I want to allow my Unity to build up a little bit, and I'm at a spot where I don't need lots of research at the moment. This will be a very temporary thing, and I'm very cognizant that I don't want to leave this going long term. But it seems like that might be a smarter way to go. Hey, there we go. There's our new refugees. All right. So we got 16 new refugees. Those workers available. I can now afford to turn some of these back on. Yeah, okay. So we'll see. Hopefully this allows our food supplies to stabilize a little bit. I'm getting a little nervous because we are creeping down our food supply, and I don't want us to wind up in a situation where we're running out of food. As a matter of fact, I'm tempted to go ahead and just preemptively build another farm just to help make sure that we don't run out of food. I don't yet know where I'm going to get fertilizer from. I know that fertilizer is obviously going to be a thing, but don't quite know how quick that'll be. I'm going to alternate crops, so at least one food crop is going to be in production between these two farms at all times. Maybe pause one of these again so that we can get the folks out of there and over to the farm. All right, there we go. Ah, that's who's missing workers. Well, let's go ahead and pause this guy. Try and get my workers in there. So right now we're basically at full employment. And now 2 workers needed there, yeah. Okay. Wait a second. Hold on a minute. Why aren't you flowing? Oh, that's... Haha, I selected the wrong type of copper. There we go. Now we're flowing. Jeez. I can do silly things sometimes, that's for sure. Okay. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and leave this off here. Yeah, load food supply, that's what I was worried about. Been watching that tick down over the course of today's play session. So hopefully these 2 new farms that we've got built up here will allow us to get ahead of that little problem before it becomes a real big deal. All right, well, I think we're going to leave us off right here. So, as we talked about, we've gotten started on repairing our ship, making some good progress, about halfway there, so that's encouraging. We are making some progress on our research tree. I've got that turned off right now just to sort of recover some of the unity that I lost while I was working on speed building a few things. And we got the captain's office built, which I haven't quite gotten actually up and running. I really want to use this plenty of food option, but before I use that, I want to make sure that I can actually make enough food to support that. And here pretty soon we're going to need to build a new settlement, a new expansion to our settlement. So we'll just have to see how that goes. And now we're lacking maintenance. Ruh-roh. Hold on a minute. Well, now that's unexpected. All of a sudden we've got a cascading maintenance failure. Now why would that be? Oh, because I had the wrong type of maintenance production selected. Got it. Well, let's go ahead and boost those. Let's go ahead and do some emergency repairs on those, because power is important. Now, hopefully, the fact that we're now actually producing there we go. Try and get ourselves. So we just sort of. I'm glad I caught that quickly. I almost got ourselves into a big maintenance hole, but we pulled out of it. Oh boy. So anyway, as I was saying, I think we made some good progress there this session. We almost just ran out of maintenance, but not quite. Probably need to look at another water collector there because I don't have enough water coming in. But problems for next time. Problems for next time. For now, I'm going to leave this off. When we pick back up next time, hopefully we can continue to work and get ahead of our food shortages and our food supply issues. But until then, this is Ruckdog saying good luck and good hunting.